Let me ask you something. You work hard, you save what you can, you try to make responsible choices with your money, you budget, you don't blow your paycheck on stupid stuff. You're doing everything you were told to do. So why does it feel like you're running on a treadmill, moving fast, sweating hard, but going absolutely nowhere? Here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. You're managing money all wrong. And it's not your fault, you were never taught any better. The middle class and the 1% don't just have different bank accounts. They have completely different operating systems for how they think about, use, and grow money. The gap isn't just income, it's mindset, strategy, and habits. Today, we're going to tear down everything you thought you knew about money management and rebuild it, the way the top 1% do it. By the end of this episode, you're going to see money in a way you've never seen it before. Let's get into it. Part 1. The biggest mistake you're making. Here's the first thing you need to understand. You confuse saving money with building wealth. You probably think you're being smart. You put money into a savings account. You watch the number grow. It feels safe, responsible, prudent. And it is to a point. But here's what's happening while you're patting yourself on the back. Inflation is silently eating your money alive. Every year, that safe cash in your low-yield savings account loses real buying power. Over a decade, it quietly shrinks while you think you're getting ahead. Nicole Lapin, best-selling author of The Money School, puts it bluntly. Ultimately, you can't save or budget your way into wealth. Let me say that again. You cannot save your way to wealth. Saving is important, but saving is defensive. Building wealth is offensive. The 1% don't build wealth by clipping coupons or skipping lattes. They build wealth by making their money work for them, hard, constantly, strategically. The middle class saves what's left after spending. The wealthy pay themselves first. They automatically direct a portion of their income into investments, retirement accounts, and cash reserves before they pay any bills or buy anything. This isn't optional for them, it's non-negotiable. So let me ask you, are you paying yourself first, or are you paying everyone else first and hoping something's left over? Part 2, the mindset shift. Here's where it gets really interesting. The middle class looks at money and thinks, what can I buy with this? They treat money as a reward for working hard. The 1% look at money and see something completely different. They see a weapon, a lever, a tool to negotiate terms, control outcomes, and bend systems in their favor. Chad Cummings, an attorney and CPA who's worked on over $20 billion in transactions for wealthy clients, puts it this way. Wealthy clients see every dollar as a potential pressure point. Think about that. Every dollar is a potential pressure point. Here's what that looks like in practice. The middle class asks, how much does this cost? The wealthy ask, what do I control if I do this? And how much time will this buy me? Price to them is a distraction. The real game is asymmetric value creation. I'll give you an example. Cummings had one client who paid well above market rate for a minority interest in a business, not because it was a good investment on paper, but because it contractually guaranteed him veto power over land use decisions that would impact his real estate holdings. He wasn't buying shares, he was buying control. Most middle-class people wouldn't even recognize that as a possibility. And here's another one. The middle class drives across town to save $250. The wealthy spend $25,000 to recover 6 hours. One of Cummings' clients spent $60,000 building a custom interface to automate a workflow that only cost his firm $1,200 a month, because he wanted his team focused on strategic growth, not administrative drudgery. This isn't about being wasteful. This is about understanding that time is your most non-renewable resource. The wealthy treat time as a non-recurring opportunity to scale influence and deepen control. So here's your question. Are you trading your time for money? Or are you using money to buy back your time? Part 3. The strategy, what the 1% actually do. Okay, so now you know the mindset. But what does this actually look like in practice? What are the specific strategies the 1% use that you can start using today? Strategy number 1, the 75-15-10 rule. Finance expert Jaspreet Singh breaks it down simply. The top 1% structure their money so that no more than 75% of their income goes toward living expenses. That's everything: mortgage, car payments, groceries, dining out, entertainment. Then 15% goes to investments, stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, real estate. And the remaining 10% goes to savings and strategic reserves. Now you might be thinking, 75% for living expenses, that's way more than I spend. Good, that means you have more room to invest. But if you're spending more than 75%, you've got a problem. That's when you need to cut costs or increase your income. Because here's the thing the 1% understand. The wealthiest people in this country don't make their money from their job. They make it from their investments. Strategy number 2, they don't make emotional decisions. Keith Fenstad, a wealth planning director who works with high net worth clients, says his wealthiest clients don't make impulsive decisions on spending or investing. When the market crashes, most people panic and sell. When the market surges, most people get greedy and buy at the top. The wealthy, they stay the course. They remove emotion from their investment decisions by automating their strategies. They set up systematic investments that continue regardless of market conditions, economic news, or their current mood. Strategy number 3, they avoid high-cost debt. This might surprise you. You think wealthy people use credit cards for everything, right? Wrong. Fenstad says his wealthiest clients live well within their means. They don't carry credit card debt. They only take on debt that's productive or tax-advantaged. The average credit card interest rate in 2025 was over 21%. Wealthy people understand that paying 21% interest is financial suicide. They use credit cards as a tool for convenience and rewards, not as a way to live beyond their means. Think about your own credit card statement. Are you using credit strategically, or are you paying the bank to be poor? Part 4, investment strategies of the 1%. Now let's talk about where the 1% actually put their money, because it's probably not what you think. While the typical investor puts money into stocks and bonds, the 1% are diversifying into alternative assets. We're talking private equity, real estate, and even art. One of Andrew Loknoth's clients bought a Basquiat piece for $2.1 million. Now, I'm not telling you to go buy art, but the principle is this: the wealthy think beyond traditional investments. They look for assets that most people overlook. When it comes to retirement accounts, the 1% are strategic there too. They max out their Roth IRAs early in the year rather than spreading contributions out, because time in the market matters more than timing the market. The earlier you contribute, the longer your money compounds tax-free. They also use strategies like the backdoor Roth, contributing non-deductible money to a traditional IRA and then converting it to a Roth, even if their income exceeds the normal limits. And here's something most people don't know. The 1% use Roth IRAs as estate planning tools. Roth IRAs don't have required minimum distributions during the owner's lifetime, so the account can keep growing tax-free and be passed to heirs. But before you start investing, the wealthy do something most people skip. They build a foundation of liquidity. They maintain significant cash reserves, lines of credit, and near-cash assets, so they're never forced to sell investments at a bad time. The most destructive risk for investors isn't a market crash. It's being forced to sell at the bottom to cover short-term obligations. A job loss, a business downturn, a medical emergency. These things can trigger distressed selling that permanently destroys capital. The 1% are overprepared in terms of liquidity. That buffer isn't laziness or conservatism. It's strategic insurance against forced liquidation. So before you start throwing money into the market, ask yourself, do I have enough cash to survive 6 months without touching my investments? If not, that's where you start. Part 5. The Hidden Traps: What to Stop Doing. Now let's talk about what you need to stop doing, because some of your good habits might actually be holding you back. Trap number 1. Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, you get a bonus. And what do? You upgrade a nicer car, a bigger apartment, fancier groceries. You give your lifestyle a glow up alongside your income. This is one of the biggest wealth killers out there. The wealthy don't do this. When they get more money, they don't spend more, they invest more. A bigger paycheck should create a bigger gap between what you earn and what you spend, not a bigger lifestyle. Trap number 2. Treating everything you own as an asset. Financial YouTuber Humphrey Yang makes a crucial distinction. Some things you own are liabilities, not assets. That expensive Mercedes, it's a liability. High loan payments, depreciation, ongoing costs. It drains your money every single day. A rental property. That's an asset. Yes, it has costs, but it also generates income. The top 1% scrutinize their purchases and ask, does this generate income or does it drain it? Trap number 3. The time trap. Most people think, if I want more money, I need to work more hours. But that's a time trap. You only generate money during the limited hours you work. The 1% ask a different question. How can I get my money to work for me so I don't always have to be the sole person working to earn my income? They build passive income streams, rental properties, investments, digital products, businesses that others operate. Are you trading your time for money? Or are you building systems where money works for you? So here's where we land. The difference between the middle class and the 1% isn't just about how much money they have. It's about how they think about money. It's about the systems they build, the habits they create, the questions they ask. The middle class saves what's left. The 1% invest first. The middle class asks, how much does this cost? The 1% asks, what do I control if I do this? The middle class trades time for money. The 1% makes money work for them. The middle class spends more when they earn more. The 1% invests more. Here's the thing, you don't need to be born rich to think like the 1%. These are habits, and habits can be learned. Start today. Automate your investments so you pay yourself first. Write down specific financial goals, not I want to be rich, but real, measurable, specific goals. Build a team of professionals who can help you make smarter decisions, and stop treating saving like it's the same as building wealth. You've been managing money the way you were taught. Now you know better. The only question is, what are you going to do about it? This is Mind Goals. Subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and start thinking like the 1% starting today.